Hello, out there in football land. I'm your host, Sonia Anderson, and welcome to another edition of All Things Football from a lady's perspective. Now, tonight is a special edition because we are preparing for, you guessed it, the divisional championships on tomorrow. So, we got four teams left, and then after tomorrow, there will only be two teams left. Thank you for tuning in to this very special edition of a pregame little live feed here. Please subscribe so that you can get updates when we are uploading new videos. And please feel free to go to our website, www.thecarolinapantherets.com, to follow anything Panther related if you are a fan. Now, one thing to note, the season is almost over. So again, please subscribe. And gents, if you're tuning in, please tell all your ladies about this channel. It's not only about Panthers fans, even though I'm personally a Panthers fan, but we're going to delve into some faith, fashion, and football when the season's over with. And we know NFL news never stops. So just wanted to get that out of the way. Got a lot of news going on, so let's get started. Tennessee Titans have already replaced Mike Mularkey with another Mike Vrabel, the former Houston Texans linebacker coach from 2014 to 2016, was named the new head coach of the Titans 4 hours ago. Now, Vrabel, born August 14, 1975, comes from an extensive background with general manager John Robinson. John Robinson and he both spent 7 years in New England, and during that time, they got two Super Bowl rings. Now, Vrabel was a player during that time, and John Robinson was a scout. So their main focus is getting Mariota trained and now teaching and coaching the Tennessee Titans to do things, quote, the Patriots way. So look out for them to pretty much make the postseason again next year. And good luck to them. Congratulations to Coach Vrabel. In other news, Washington Redskins are thinking about franchising Kirk Cousins once again. He has already been franchised twice since 2016. Both times, let's see, who would he get franchised by? By Scott McLaughlin, the general manager. He's stating that Cousins is not, quote, a special player, but rosters were built around him to make him special. So the thing is, if Cousins is franchised a third time, he's stating that there's no time and no funds left to invest in a quarterback. So we don't know what's going to go down. We'll stay tuned for that. But if they do franchise him for a third time, the Redskins will be shoveling out $35 million. Now, the last two franchises have resulted in $44 million being shoveled out on Cousins' behalf. Now, let's talk about this AFC matchup for tomorrow. A lot of people are predicting the Jaguars to be the upsetter. And guess what? So am I, guys. I feel like the Patriots will be exposed because the Jaguars are for real. As I told you before, they haven't been to the playoffs since 1999, and they are ready. They are thirsty, and they want it. The Patriots, they kind of like used to it. Like, yeah, whatever. We go. We're going to get it. We're the champs. We are who we are. Maybe not the case. We'll know after tomorrow. Many see that the Jaguars will supersede the Pats, and some key components to keep in mind is to keep Brady off the field. If Brady's not on the field, he cannot score. So the key thing to do is for the Jaguars to milk that clock, run the clock down, keep their offense out there, and keep Brady off the field. And when he does, kick that defense up high gear and limit those first downs. Now, Doug Marrone and Tom Coughlin, a.k.a. TC, are excellent. They have managed this team, and Coughlin has brought a brand new perspective on this game. Let's see. I got a question here. Someone saying, who do you think we're going to draft? Darius Jones. Give me 1 second, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. I'll get right with you, Darius. Calvin Ridley. Not a bad choice. We're going to be talking about the draft definitely soon because you know that's coming up. And I think the deadline is March 6th, so not too much time to be looking at who we're going to get. That's going to be working out real soon. Now, let me get back to this Jaguars news briefly. And thanks for your question, Darius, and thanks for tuning in. Now, Tom Coughlin is very involved with the Jaguars. He's known to show up at practices. He's known to be, kind of like in the locker room, not like really overbearing, but he's there and he keeps an eye on the team, and that's a good perspective. Doug Maroney, pretty laid back, so it's a good balance for both. Now, one thing about it, we have to watch Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles has known to be very good in the pass rush. He's been up and down in the regular season, but in the postseason, he's really done a great job at getting out of the pocket and going in for those deep shots, stepping up out of it every time and dominating the run game. That's what the Patriots are going to have to worry about as far as their defense. Brady and their offense, no words needed. We already know who the people are. We already know who the Brady way, the Belichick way goes. Now, the Patriots defense is really good about manipulating the quarterback's mind. So Bortles is going to have to be very careful of that because they could be really misled and tricked by the defense of the Pats. They're really good at manipulating the pass protection of the offensive quarterback. A key person is going to be looking at Dion Lewis. Dion Lewis can be that sneaky offensive player. He's a red zone pass expert. And when Brady's not using Amendola, look for him to be targeting Lewis on a lot of those plays. The Jags defense is number 2 in the NFL. They only allow 286 yards per game this season. So the Jags defense aren't busters either. Like I said, it's going to be a tight game. It's going to come down to who wants it the most. And I think that Jacksonville wants this the most. Now let's talk about Brady's injury real quick. For you all who haven't heard, Tom Brady supposedly injured his right throwing hand in a practice-related incident. Well, it just came out that he collided with Burkhead, in practice, tearing his hand. He had to get several stitches in it, and it's now gloved. But he's been throwing recently, and supposedly he hasn't missed a beat. So we'll have to see about that. I got Jags all over this, winning it and going to the Super Bowl. Oh, one more little thing. The Houston Texans have just agreed to extend Bill O'Brien's contract by 4 years. So congrats to him as well. He gets to keep his job for 4 more years. Now, wrapping up this little Jaguars prediction I got. A key matchup is going to be Gronkowski versus Jalen Ramsey. Now, we know Gronk is huge and Gronk is fast. So it's going to take someone that is fast and just as big to take him down. And that person is Jalen Ramsey. He's the number 2 ranked PFF graded player. And he's amazing. And in certain situations, when Brady drops his drop passing, Gronk is the huge and fast person that he goes to. So we're going to look up for that matchup as well. Let's flip on over to the NFC. Minnesota versus Philadelphia Eagles. First of all, congratulations, Minnesota. I just really, really, really love a game where it looks like you're down at the very last minute, but you come on back. Now, Minnesota dominated this game for the most part, and I'm just grateful to know that in the end, they still dominated because it looked like they were going to lose it. And I know everybody at the game and watching the game at home were shocked. Because I was. So congratulations, Minnesota, because you surely deserve to be there. Now, according to ESPN, the Minnesota Vikings, first of all, have filed for a trademark. They have filed for Minneapolis Miracle and Minnesota Miracle. And they got T-shirts and everything. They've already sold over 1,000 T-shirts. They have 11418 on the shirts. Now, apparently, this trademark, which was filed yesterday, is like this little thing in response to the Stephon Diggs touchdown for 61 yards. The Vikings have filed this trademark, and they have trademarked over 100 items that include bathing suits, T-shirts, parkas, pocketbooks, everything, you name it. They want to make sure nobody can use that Minnesota Miracle or Minneapolis Miracle. So they're going to go ahead and kick all that off. Now, one thing about the Vikings, they also are thirsty just like the Jaguars. Minneapolis hopes to snap this 5-year streak that they have, that for the last 5 appearances they've made in the playoffs, they never get past the conference championship. So they're hoping that that heartbreak doesn't happen tomorrow. One thing we got to be key for is the Philadelphia offense. Now, Alshon Jeffries is going to be matched up probably with Xavier Rhodes. Xavier is a great defensive player for the Vikings, and he had 10 passes defensed for 2 interceptions. Alshon Jeffries is going to have to really be on his game tomorrow because that's going to be a matchup we cannot miss. One thing that we did witness during the Falcons game last week with Philadelphia, they have got to speed up their offense. They have got to ignite that. Philadelphia played extremely slow. There were very few no huddles, and when they did try to do no huddles, there were mistakes made. There were drop passes. They cannot do that tomorrow with Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is the number 1 defense in the league, and Minnesota plays high tempo ball. Nick Foles has got to get it together, and he cannot play comfortable. He's got to get his run game faster. It's overall the tempo has to be more expedited. Harrison Smith, another person to watch, versus Ajayi and Legarius Blunt. Now, Ajayi and Legarius Blunt are known for breaking tackles. So they're probably going to have both of them on Harrison Smith just to make sure that he don't get anything. Now, he's missed 2 tackles the entire season. So guess what? He's the best, one of the best safeties in the league. I think he's ranked 1 or 2 in the league. So we're going to be looking for that matchup. Minnesota's offense, Latavius Murray, Jerry McKinnon, 95 rushing yards just last week. McKinnon is a beast. The O-line is physical, and that whole offensive line was rebuilt, and they are catastrophic on the field. So Minnesota's run game looks good. Their defense looks good. Their offense looks good. They are a well-rounded team, and you know where I'm going with this. Minnesota can take it all. I mean, the entire hat in the basket, everything. The Super Bowl, everything. I feel like they are the team to watch. Philadelphia's D to watch, Fletcher Cox, Vinnie Curry, and Timmy Jernigan will probably all pair up together. Those 3 together make a nice little square back in the back, and they slow down that run game and that pass game on Minnesota. I think that's pretty much all I have right now. But about your question, Darius, we have several other players too. Now, Ridley is definitely going to be a good draft. So we'll have to stay tuned, and as the draft gets closer, I'll be definitely, talking a little bit more about that. I've had a few other people I'm kind of watching. I don't want to say right now because kind of want to give you guys some time to interact as well. So at this time, just want to thank you for tuning into my show. Tomorrow my picks are Jaguars and Vikings. If I had to pick a score, I guess with the AFC game, I think it's really going to come down to defense. I think if Jaguars keep their defense up, it's not going to be a high-powered scoring game like Tom Brady's always throwing 20 million passes. I don't think that's going to happen, at least not caught passes that result in scores. But I do think it's going to be a very interesting game. It won't be boring. It's probably going to be a score, defense, a score, defense. I think it's probably going to be 27-21. Jags win against the Pats. And for Vikings and Philadelphia, let's see. I don't see Philadelphia scoring a lot of points. I see them probably having 14 and Minnesota 27 or 34. I'll tune in tomorrow with my post game so we can see who was right. And thank you so much for tuning in to All Things Football from a Lady's Perspective. Please feel free to subscribe. Please subscribe. Please tell all your friends. Tell everybody who loves NFL, period, to subscribe. I'm Sonia Anderson. Have a blessed night, and thank you again for tuning in. Well, if I can get this cut off.